The journey beyond the map, where true happiness begins. In a quiet village nestled between the folds of mountains and murmuring streams, there lived an elder whose wisdom had long been the village's silent compass. He spoke little, but when he did, the wind itself seemed to pause and listen. As the village mayor, his words held weight, his gaze gentleness, and his heart unshakable stillness. But within his home, his heart bore a hidden ache. His only son, born into the comfort of ease, had grown into a man of idle hours and wandering desires. He slept long, laughed loud, and drifted through the seasons like a leaf in a lazy breeze. No teaching, no warning, no scolding had touched the young man's soul. The father, watching time etch lines deeper into his face, felt an urgency that words alone could no longer carry. One evening, when twilight draped the village in gold, the father summoned his son to his side. "My son," he said gently, "you are no longer a child. Life waits for no one. I cannot walk your path for you, but I can help you take the first step." He handed him a simple leather bag. Inside were 4 sets of clothes, one for each season, some raw grains and lentils, a modest handful of coins, and a map. "This," he said, "leads to a treasure I want you to find. Bring it home." The son's eyes sparkled with excitement. For the first time, his father's voice did not sound like advice. It sounded like adventure. He set out the next morning, heart alight with dreams of riches and pride. The trail took him beyond the familiar hills and into the unknown, through shadowed forests, across sun-baked plains, along river bends and over misted peaks. The seasons turned, and with them, so did the colors of the earth. But the young man saw none of it. He hurried past the wildflowers of spring, missed the golden hush of summer twilight, ignored the scent of monsoon rains on parched soil. His eyes were fixed on the map, his thoughts consumed by the treasure buried somewhere ahead. He met people, some who gave him bread and shelter, others who deceived and stole. He learned caution, but not gratitude. He walked fast, spoke little, and trusted only the promise of gold. After a full year, weary but unrelenting, he reached the place marked with an X. A lone tree clinging to the edge of a cliff, its roots like veins in the dry earth. With trembling hands, he began to dig. 1 day passed, then 2. Nothing. Frustration gave way to disbelief. "Has someone stolen it?" he cried aloud. "Did my father lie?" Exhausted, broken, and bitter, he abandoned the hole. He turned back, carrying nothing but a gnawing emptiness. But something shifted. No longer in pursuit, he began to see. He saw how the early spring flowers returned each year without fail. He stopped to feel the rain and let it wash the dust from his skin. He tasted wild berries with delight, watched sunrises paint the sky in silence, and lay under the stars without hunger for more. As his supplies dwindled, he learned to cook over open flame, sew his own torn garments, build shelter with fallen branches. He no longer asked for help. He offered it. When he passed the villages that once gave him food, he stayed longer, helping mend roofs, till soil and carry water. He began to listen to the stories of old women, to laugh with children, to feel deeply the sorrow and the joy of strangers. Slowly, a quiet strength bloomed within him, a kind of happiness that didn't shout, but hummed softly beneath the surface of all things. After 2 years, he walked through the gates of his home, not with treasure in hand, but with eyes that saw, and a heart that had awakened. "Father," he said, kneeling, "I have returned." The old man embraced him, tears hidden in the corners of his smile. "Tell me, son," he asked, "did you find the treasure?" The son lowered his head. "No, father, I dug where the map showed, but found nothing. At first I was angry, but now I have no regrets. I failed the task, but I feel full. Forgive me. The father placed a hand on his son's shoulder, firm and kind. My son, he said, there was no treasure hidden beneath the tree. The son looked up, confused. Then why send me? Because the treasure was never meant to be found in the earth, the father said, voice quiet and sure. It was meant to be found within you. I knew that only by leaving, only by walking alone, would you begin to truly see. What did you discover on your way home? The son closed his eyes for a moment. I saw beauty where I never looked before. I met kindness and became kind. I learned to live, to give, to be still. I thought I had failed, but I have never felt more alive. The father nodded. That is the treasure. Life's true happiness is not a goal at the end of a path. It is the path itself. It is how we walk, how we breathe, how we meet each moment. And in that silence, the son understood completely. Life often hands us maps that seem to promise gold. We chase dreams, obsess over achievements, and sprint toward imagined futures. But the secret lies not in arriving, it lies in awakening. Each breath, each trial, each act of kindness is a treasure waiting to be seen. And when we stop rushing, when we let life touch us, we discover that the map was never about where we were going. It was about how we return. With eyes open, with heart soft, with spirit whole.